In the global post-COVID age of influencers who regularly get sponsored to travel to incredible places around the world, it seems all too unattainable for the average person to pay for all those experiences in a world where airfares, train tickets, and hotels are always increasing their prices. But a dedicated group of so-called travel hackers have shown that this whole world can be yours for free. When he isn't working as a program manager at New America in Washington, D.C., Ben Dalton is dreaming up of new travel adventures.
We took a train across the country to Seattle. We stayed in Seattle. We flew from Seattle to Fairbanks. We rented cars. We did more train travel in Alaska, and we stayed at hotels in Alaska. And pretty much all of that was paid for through some kind of point system or another.
And that's right. These points were all redeemed through the multiple credit card benefits that he had claimed.
Probably had around 60 or 70 credit cards since 2015. There's different kinds of travel hacking. The variety that I'm the most experienced with, that I've done the most, is using points and loyalty programs to book free travel, usually by opening and then closing credit cards, which is often referred to as churning.
These are the 5 best travel credit cards of 2023 with no annual fee.
I have done the Delta Gold card. I have done the American Airlines Silver card, the Southwest Silver card. Right now I'm working the Capital One Venture X card.
Credit card companies make money every time you do a transaction, so they're willing to do whatever it takes for you to sign on to that credit card. This is a critical source of profits or a critical source of revenue for airlines.
NYU Stern's distinguished clinical professor in economics, Joseph Foudy, claims that the cost of the partnership is financially worth it for credit card companies.
They have very high rates if you fail to pay. The issue or challenge for the consumer is, can you cognitively remember all of the bills and when you have to pay them? For the extreme travel hacker, they're often programming this in. They're automatically making it at the bare minimum, the minimum payment. And they're sort of creating a spreadsheet to organize their lives. The payoff, of course, is they get much cheaper travel, but they're willing to do that because they have the time and they have the budget constraints that other people don't have.
I have always had very detailed and very organized sort of budgets and spreadsheets in which I document my other spreadsheets, which is not a joke. It's important to stay on top of it because the rules are constantly changing, and when there's a really good deal available, it will only usually often be available for a very short amount of time.
They'll have a window or a time where it opens up, which is quite limited. And these travel hackers are really careful to look at what those opening dates are. Like the person who knows when reservations open up for a hard to get into restaurant.
Professor Foudy questions how realistic this is for most people.
And the idea is the average customer just doesn't have time to remember mentally, I need to log in at 1 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on X date for when these tickets might pop up.
For Ben, planning the trip in advance is crucial to getting the cheaper fares and accessing the rewards he wants.
Think about what kind of trip you would like to go on and then plan backwards from that. So depending on what location you're going to and how you would like to go there can make a very big difference in terms of what kinds of points and what kinds of programs you're looking to exploit. Every card has different rules for how you get the sign-up bonus. Every bank has different rules for whether they will approve you or not. The 3 probably biggest what are called transferable points currencies out there right now are Chase, Citi, and American Express. Now, they're called transferable points currencies because they have a variety of travel partners that you can transfer those points to at various rates.
And Ben has taken it further. Sometimes it isn't about dream trips, but he's using these techniques to make money. But it isn't easy.
About 2 years ago or so, Capital One had a offer where if you spent $50,000 in, I want to say 6 months, then they would give you $3,000 as a sign-up bonus. I do not put $50,000 on a credit card over the course of 6 months, right? I'm not that big of a spender. So I needed to figure out a way to what's called manufactured spend, like basically come up with fake spending to meet that. There was a particular process I could exploit where if I purchased a certain kind of cryptocurrency with the card, I could then convert that cryptocurrency back into US dollars, cash it out, and then use that money to pay off the card. So it was a closed loop that cost me nothing, And not only did it allow me to meet the minimum spend of $50,000 very quickly, I was also earning 2% cash back on each transaction. So I ended up getting something like $4,000 or $5,000 out of that card.
Although savvy travel hackers like Ben are always trying to exploit the system, Professor Foudy predicts that changes will be imminent.
Airlines and credit card companies are getting much more sophisticated in analyzing how much money you spend. Right? It used to be how many flights you took, how many miles were those flights. That's why they're called miles points. They really have shifted to how much have you paid for that flight. And so the business of travel hacking is probably going to become more complex because airlines have picked up on that.
So for now, people like Ben can keep churning to get those cheap tickets until, of course, airlines decide to say no.